Hi, Democrats. Today is Wednesday, February 9th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Wednesday. So, yesterday, at the end of the day, I told you I was going to talk about one thing, and then some big news dropped today, and I think it's important that I talk about it first. So, our state auditor has been conducting an audit on that talks about the Central Purchasing Act. That is the act that governs how the state spends money when they buy things. And there's a big long process, and it's been in place for years. Um, who has the authority to sign on behalf of the state, how much money they're allowed to spend, what kind of documentation they're required to keep. So there has been an audit regarding how we spent money during the height of the COVID crisis in our state. So first, I want to remind everybody that I'm from Oklahoma, and our governor keeps pretending like COVID isn't real. Our governor never mentioned COVID or the lives lost to COVID in his State of the State address. I just want to put that out there as I talk about how we spent money. So while he was denying COVID and acting like it wasn't a big deal, he signed executive orders to allow for some changes to our purchasing process. No specificity, no adherence to the Constitution, just kind of made up the rules as we went along. Consequently, we have spent, and these are taxpayer dollars, I just want to make sure you guys understand, approximately $5.4 million for goods that we've never received. $5.4 million. This was found in the audit for goods that we didn't receive still. As I said, that's a violation of our Constitution. It's a violation of our Constitution. And as they were trying to trace and say, okay, well, it was an emergency, maybe the records were in disarray. And it looks like maybe we got some PPE, but the tracking of that was shady and shaky. Which brings me to the $750,000 that we spent on a consulting firm whose name I will not say. We spent $750,000 on a firm who their task was project management and strategic transformation. Doesn't that sound great? So what their job was to help OEMS track how we spent money and track the goods once they were received. Now, let me just go back a few seconds when I said we weren't tracking it and the records were in disarray. So we paid $750,000 to this company that was supposed to track the stuff, but we somehow came up with $5.4 million of untracked stuff. I think we were cheated. Just saying. And then we paid some companies up to $80,000 in finder's fees. Now, our Constitution is silent on finder's fees, so I'm not going to say that this was illegal, but finder's fees, $80,000 for $5.4 million worth of stuff we didn't get. Kind of scary to me, but that's what we're dealing with, right? And when the audit came out, our Attorney General said, I'm not releasing the report. You work for us. You have to release the report. And it reminds me of what's going on the national stage, where the last president, first off, he took 15 boxes of records out of the White House that he wasn't supposed to. He ripped up official documents. He ate official documents. What the heck? But that is what, Oklahoma keeps trying to mirror themselves after our last failed president. And this feels like more of that. So I wasn't prepared to talk about that today, but this information came in front of me, and I like to provide you guys with news you can use. I like to provide you guys with information that ordinary folks don't get unless they're looking for. I am always talking about how we need to quit STIT. I'm always talking about how this man has decided he doesn't want to be our governor. He wants something bigger. We need to relieve him of the burden of being our governor by replacing him. But that's not all. So what I was planning on talking about today is what I call the tale of two tweets. So the governor's communication director is an aggressive tweeter. And I want to show you two tweets that were both tweeted in this calendar year, and understand that we are 40 days into the year. These are two tweets that happened in this calendar year. So the first one, good news for people who don't feel safe in Oklahoma. Route 66 takes you right to LA or Chicago, so sarcasm, ugliness, and it goes to the whole, if you don't like it, leave it mentality. And then the second tweet, Grapes of Wrath is a terrible, horrible book. Okay. They weren't tweeted back to back. They weren't tweeted days apart. And maybe to her, they had nothing to do with one another. But as a proud Oklahoman, I couldn't help making the connection. The Grapes of Wrath were about desperate Oklahomans who had to leave Oklahoma for more economic opportunity. They were near hopeless, and there was a change in the way our agriculture was working in Oklahoma. It sounds pretty current. And then now we have the governor's spokesperson saying, if you don't like it, leave it. I'm the chair of the Oklahoma Democratic Party. I do this on purpose because I believe if you don't like it, get in here and fix it. Stay and help make Oklahoma better. Stitt and his spokesperson don't sound interested in that. But I'm asking you, if you're watching me, stay and make it better. Become a candidate. Help me find candidates. Help find a candidate that speaks to you. And let's get that candidate filed for office, and let's support them. That's what we have to do. We have to find candidates that speak to our values and then support them. Support them with your time, money, and resources. We have got to get rid of the folks who don't believe that they represent us and believe that they can do whatever they want to, regardless of our Constitution. Governor Stitt, that even hurts saying it. Governor Stitt doesn't want to be Governor Stitt. He wants something bigger. Why don't we free him up for that? Why don't we free him up and elect a new governor? Help me find and elect the governor that represents us. If you don't like it, leave it. That's good for them. But for the rest of us who have decided to stay here because we love Oklahoma, let's fix it. Find a candidate to support, and then support them with everything that you are. We have less than 300 days until the election in November, and we have a lot of work to do. So find a candidate, support the candidate, make sure you get their word out. That's my message for today. Find a candidate. We have got to quit Stitt. He doesn't want the job, and his communications director clearly doesn't want to be here, and she doesn't understand that Grapes of Wrath is rooted in Oklahoma. We take that very seriously. But if you're not from here and you don't care, you say cavalier, ugly things like she said. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15. You guys have a great evening.